Thank you for joining us this afternoon in this Remembrance Day celebration for the borough of Côte-des-Neiges in NDG. We'll invite you to stand with us. We will begin with the national anthem. We'll sing it through in English and then in French. Please rise with us.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patient love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. We stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, terre de nos aïeux, ton front est saint de fleurons glorieux, car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée, les plus brillants exploits, et ta valeur deux fois trempée protégera nos foyers et nos droits. Protégera nos foyers et nos droits.
Thank you. You may be seated. Vous pouvez vous asseoir. My father never forgot the first time he saw Canadian maple leaf. He was 7. Early in September of 1944, my grandparents, with 2 little children in tow, with part of a convoy of Belgian refugees, trying to stay away from the front lines as the Nazis tried to hang on to as much territory as they could. With all the scant possessions they could carry, loaded on a bicycle with 2 little children, they traveled at night and hid out in the brush during the day. A column dust in the distance in the early morning around the approaching column of tanks. A lookout climbed a tree to check if there were Panzers or British tanks. As the British tanks approached, the cheering began, as the hungry and harried villagers were glad to see them. And my father spotted on the back of the tank a little red leaf that he had never seen before. He asked my grandmother what the little red leaf was, and her response has gone down in family lore verbatim. Grandma said, "Everything's going to be okay now. The Canadians are here." The 2nd Canadian Division entered Belgium on September 2nd, 1944, liberating territory as they went, including my father's little village. And at the cost of over 840 Canadian lives and many more injured, they pushed through to help liberate Brussels on the 4th, saving countless civilian lives, including my father and my grandparents, and restoring the civilian government less than a week later. On September 4th, the Canadian Armored Division would follow. After crossing into Belgium, they would suffer unspeakable casualties and losses at Ypres and at Passchendaele, eventually helping to free the remainder of the country on the 4th of February, 1945. As a family, we owe a debt of gratitude, like many other families, to the Canadian nurses, medical staff, and administrators who operated the nearby field military hospital after the hostilities had ceased. I'm sure the administrator of the hospital got in trouble, but they ran the kitchen and food operations with intentionally calculated losses and leftovers, quote unquote, to feed the dozens of families of the hired civilians who came to do the dishes in the Canadian Field Military Hospital. Almost a decade later, newly arrived in Canada, my grandmother, now a single mother with 2 children, settled here in Côte-des-Neiges and ironically found a job in the kitchen at the old Veterans Hospital on Queen Mary, taking care of the veterans who had saved her family's life. We celebrate this day all that little red leaf stands for, including the spirit of sacrifice, the commitment, and the hard work that in so many places of the world has long continued to stand for peace, for loving care of our neighbor, no matter how great the cost. As that torch is thrown to us in our generation, may those commitments long continue. Nous sommes contents d'avoir plusieurs dignitaires avec nous aujourd'hui. Je vais introduire maintenant la mairesse de Côte-des-Neiges, Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, mairesse Gracia Kasuki Katawa, qui va venir nous adresser quelques mots. Mairesse, s'il vous plaît.
Bonjour. J'aimerais saluer la présence de Désiré McGraw, député de Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, Peter McQueen, conseiller de ville dans le district de Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, et Despina Sourias, conseillère de ville dans le district de Loyola. Mesdames et messieurs, j'aimerais d'abord remercier tout le monde d'être venu ici pour honorer les femmes et les hommes des forces armées canadiennes qui ont, avec courage et détermination, risqué leur vie pour défendre les libertés et les valeurs que nous tenons parfois pour acquises aujourd'hui. Standing here today at this monument to remind us of the Battle of Vimy, one of Canada's major military achievements of the First World War, I am reminded of the excellence and brilliance of our women and men serving in uniform. Il y a plus d'un siècle, des femmes et des hommes de partout au Canada sont allés défendre les valeurs de la démocratie durant la Première Guerre mondiale. Plusieurs ont été blessés et d'autres ont même laissé leur vie sur le champ de bataille. Celles et ceux qui ont eu la chance de survivre méritent d'être honorés chaque année auprès de leurs défunts camarades. Le Canada a perdu 61 000 âmes au cours de la Première Guerre mondiale et plus de 172 000 militaires canadiens ont été blessés. Aujourd'hui encore, des Canadiennes et Canadiens s'engagent auprès de nos forces armées et se sacrifient pour défendre le pays. Le jour du souvenir, il appartient donc à toutes nos consoeurs et tous nos confrères qui ont sacrifié leur vie pour une cause des plus nobles, assurer la liberté et l'égalité pour tous. The men and women resting beneath the silence of this day weren't the one who spoke the loudest about their patriotism for Canada. They let their actions do that. The Montrealers who rest here in peace, those from whom we've asked everything, they are only asking one thing, that we remember them. And it is in the name of those that I stand here today, surrounded by colleagues, veterans, residents of our borough. May their memory live through our actions of peace and solidarity between each other, not only every year at Remembrance Day, but indeed every day of our lives. Merci.
Merci, Madame la mairesse. Nous allons continuer avec le protocole qui va suivre. Je vais vous avertir en avance pour pas que vous soyez surpris. Nous avons ajouté quelques éléments à notre célébration cette année en incluant le salut d'un canon. Si vous avez le cœur fragile, je voulais simplement vous avertir qu'après le réveil du trompetteur, il y aura le canon qui sonnera un salut. Just wanted to warn you that there will be a gunned cannon salute near the last post. If you have a fragile heart, I wanted you to know that I was coming in a few moments. Let us declare our faith and our courage in these ancient words from Psalm 46. God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in times of trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth be moved, and the mountains shake in the midst of the sea. Though the waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble in the tumult, God is in the midst of the people, and they shall not be moved. Dieu est notre refuge et notre force, un secours toujours présent dans la détresse. C'est pourquoi nous ne craignons rien quand la terre est ébranlée, quand les montagnes chancellent au sein de l'océan, même si les flots mugissent, s'écument et se soulèvent jusqu'à faire trembler les montagnes, Dieu règne au cœur de son peuple inébranlable. Let us pray. Eternal God, we bring before you the names and faces of those who stood on guard for our country and commonwealth, who toiled under the weight of arms, and who made the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of peace and freedom. Nous voulons honorer leur mémoire en cette cérémonie. Accorde-leur ta grâce, afin qu'ils reposent à jamais sous ta bienveillance. Et nous, que nous puissions respecter leur désir de paix et de justice dans notre monde actuel. Nous te le demandons en ton nom éternel. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. As you are able, please rise for the 2 moments of silence. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun in the morning, we will remember them. Ils ne vieilliront pas comme nous qui leur avons survécu. Ils ne connaîtront jamais l'outrage ni le poids des années. Quand viendra l'heure du crépuscule et celle de l'aurore, nous nous souviendrons d'eux. Nous nous souviendrons d'eux. You may be seated. We will proceed now to the laying on of wreaths while the choir accompanies us in the background. We begin, as per tradition, with the wreath from the Silver Cross. Tariq Mansour will come and lay that wreath first. Lost his brother, I believe, in Afghanistan. We stand with the Silver Cross family today.